Hi, everybody. Good Monday morning to everybody. And yeah, a little crazy last night. Some big time boomers last night. A little bit in the way of some thunder, some lightning. Not much in the way of severe weather reports, but boy, if you have anxiety for thunderstorms, last night was not your night. It was tough. I have a dog that doesn't like thunderstorms. I have two dogs that don't like thunderstorms, but one more than the other. And it was a night on the couch for me with a lot of like Thunder Buddy action going on because I had to try to calm the dogs down. I came in, I figured I would see some storm reports because I worked for Eric this morning. I figured I would see some storm reports that were mainly along the Alabama-Mississippi state line because we knew when the storms were to work into the area sometime around 6 o'clock. I think Chelsea was right on air when the first wave came in. We figured that would be when they were the strongest. They could produce some large hail, damaging winds. Never really thought there was a real big chance of tornadoes, but still some kind of severe definition weather. And that's how it played out. And as the storms moved east, they weakened, they were loud, they were bright, but they weren't severe. They were just big rainmakers. But overall, though, anytime you get to March and you can avoid widespread severe weather, you're doing something, right? Because so often this time of year it can be so dicey. So here's your storm reports from last night. The little blue, light blue little circles there, if you look closely enough, they actually are little winds on like a house right here. And that's where you had some wind damage. So you have one there, one there. There was a power pole down in Coleman County. And then you had a little bit more wind here, blew off a back porch to a house, if I remember correctly. So those are your winds. And then take those away. And then go ahead and look at these little blue things that look like little snowflakes, right? They're not snow, but they are hail, which is a cold thing. And we had a couple of hail reports, one up in Fayetteville, one in Moulton, and then the rest were right along the state line. So you get the gist. It was mainly the strongest storms being right along the Mississippi-Alabama state line. And then they rolled east, and as they continued to move off to the east, they became just rainmakers, and they were loud. We had some lightning strikes, and yeah, it got pretty crazy. I mean, it was loud. There was actually a building near where I live, near Maston Lake, that actually had... it was like a backyard garage, Stafford Realty, and caught on fire. And yeah, I had a couple reports of fires last night, which is never a good thing. All right, let me advance the graphics. Let's take a look at what we got going on right now. Let's see where we're at. And there it is. So there's the frontal boundary. You see all the rain. Soaker in South Mississippi and South Bama today. There actually is some stronger thunderstorms right along the immediate coast. Then that front extends north up into portions of the Carolinas with some rains falling there too. Not as heavy, but when you zoom in, you can see that cloud cover is starting to thin out a little bit, and that's good. We'll get back into some sunshine. I see Jill Lee Adams on. She says, what about the prediction for bad tornadoes this Sunday? I'm going to say this about that. It is 6 days away. We just got to Monday. I would probably venture to say that the forecast will probably change quite a bit. It's something we have to keep an eye on. 2 weeks ago, everyone was talking about how we were going to have widespread tornadoes, and we got very lucky here in the Tennessee Valley, and we had one in Lauderdale County, though there was like 120 reported in 5 states around us, including in central Alabama. But I would venture to say that I would probably just stay up to date on things at this point, and when we get actually closer to the day on Sunday, like maybe even towards the end of the week instead of Monday, we probably will have a little bit more information to pass along for you, and we'll keep you updated. We always do here at WAFF 48. And Jill, you can always send us a message too on our Facebook accounts. We usually, I'll answer back. Shoals, there's a little bit of sun starting to happen. We said the process to clear the clouds would eventually happen by about late morning in the areas west and about early afternoon areas east. And there's evidence of some blue sky, which is fantastic. The Parkway right now is sunny. I see some sun. I see some shadows. What's nice about today is that we don't have as much wind as yesterday, and the temperatures themselves will be quite nice. You're welcome, Jill, anytime. I just don't have a straight answer, unfortunately, because it's literally 6 days away. But I would imagine that there'll be some kind of showers and thunderstorms that we have to keep an eye on. Stan Barbie, good morning, Jeff Desnoyers. Yes, it was a big boom right above my house. Stan, I hope you're all right. No severe weather, no damage for you, though, my friend, I hope. But, yeah, I mean, shook the house last night. I mean, that thunder was loud, and it was so bright. But the storms, remember, lightning, loudness, and heavy rain don't factor into whether or not a storm is severe. Severe thunderstorm criteria is winds over 57, 58 miles an hour, large hail 1-inch diameter, and then also a tornado. So you don't have those three. Technically, it's not a severe storm, but I can tell you right now, there are many of you that I know get bothered by thunderstorms. And last night was a tough one for you, and I get it. Winds today behind the rainfall turn northwesterly. They were very gusty yesterday with some warm temperatures. I was in Dutton yesterday up on the bluff, and it was, I would say the gusts were probably about 35, 40 miles an hour. Today, not the case. The winds are much lighter today, single digits. So even though the temperature may not be as warm as it was yesterday, it should still feel pretty good outside. Temperatures mid to upper 60s, not much wind. You throw in some sunshine, especially as we get into the afternoon. It will get better and better throughout the day. And then we keep it going. Real quiet weather pattern. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Knocking it out of the park right there. Baseball season is here. Temperatures in the 70s by day, mainly 40s at night, plenty of sunshine. If you are a big gardener, a lot of you asking me if you think it's safe to put stuff into the garden right now. I always say wait until mid-April and tax day. Now I say that, but I don't practice what I preach because I actually put stuff in the garden usually at the end of March, and I take my chances. But if you have something that you want to put in the garden and you are afraid that there could be another frost or freeze, I would wait till mid-April. Jill says, my dog has to be medicated and still shakes. Yeah, I have the same problem, Jill. Unfortunately, when I first rescued the two dogs, their names are Rubble and Sky, they actually, it was ridiculously tough. Like, Rubble would jump up on the dresser, which is like 6 feet high, and he would try to jump up on the bed to the dresser and then try to jump down. And we had to try to catch him because he would probably have hurt himself. It got really bad. He's come a long way, but we do the same thing. We have to prepare and make sure the dogs are medicated beforehand because it gets really bad. But what's your dog's name, Jill? Let me know. We have to make sure we take care of our pups, right? Very important. Big dog guy, as many of you know. 10-day forecast. This pretty much takes us through the end of, it does take us through the end of March. In fact, I think that's what the feed said. Jeff Desnoyers will walk you through the entire forecast for the rest of March. It seems like a lot to have to ask me to do, but it's really not because there's only a few more days left, right? Charlotte, heavy rain, loud rumbling thunder. The best part was my power stayed on. Good for you, Charlotte. That's good because some people were not as fortunate last night. There were a few people that would let me know that they didn't have power. Now, the power came back on pretty quickly for most of the people that I talked to. But yeah, nothing worse than having like this big thunderstorm. It's so intimidating. And then you lose power on top of it. That just freaks me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Jill, JJ's the pup. Okay, I got it. I won't. That's an easy one. It's my first name. My first name is Jeff. Just remember JJ times 2. And he's a rescue. I think that's great. I think if you get a pup, rescues are always the best. My 2 were actually 7 when I adopted them. They were older. I was afraid they weren't going to find a home. Now they're 9, and I think they're pretty happy. I'm pretty spoiled with them, so it's all right. Stan, I'm okay with that. Scared me. I just looked out. It looks okay. Got to go look over my foundation, though. Rain since last night, 1.02 inches, and now up to almost 5 inches of rain. And you know what, my friend? I appreciate that, Stan, because you gave me a reminder to let everybody know that as we close out the month of March, and we only have, about a week left, rainfall totals for the month of March have been high for most locations. Some areas too high. We had the flooding back last weekend, right? So some of you were asking me about the drought monitor graphic that we share. If we're not sharing that on air, that means we're probably not in a drought anymore. And that's where we're at. Most locations have caught up the rainfall. We're not in a drought status anymore. And that's really, really good news as you go into spring because you know there'll be times when we dry out and we're hot in the summertime and the fall, and we'll probably get back to drought status at some point, but we're not now, which is fantastic. And we don't have much in the way of rain on that 10-day forecast. In fact, this week, once we pop some sunshine this afternoon, it is game on awesome the rest of the week. And this will be the coolest day of the entire 10-day forecast. Well, let me say that again. Entire week up until Sunday, because early next week we might cool down a bit with some of the rainfall. But nonetheless, some 70s to near 80 through Friday. And then this weekend looks really not bad on Saturday. It's not like the brightest day, but we'll hold off on some more rain Sunday. And as Jill was mentioning, we have scattered storms on Sunday. Some of the forecast models have mainly just a big rain event for us. Other forecast models are a bit more aggressive with the storms. So my suggestion to everybody who watches this, stay up to date on WAFF 48 or however you get your weather. We hope it is with us, but we want you to be safe, and that's the most important thing. And just make sure you stay up to date on the forecast. As we get closer to the days, the forecast models will fine tune it, iron it out. You know, how much are we playing with instability? Do we actually have a chance for just maybe like damaging winds, which is still dangerous, or do we have something that we may be talking about more in the way of tornadoes? But right now, I would just leave everything on the table and just zero in as we get closer to that day. Hi, Christine Tinker from beautiful Bryant. Good to see you on. Josh Malone says Friday looks great. It does. Josh, Friday's a tricky one though. We have 80 there, right? If we get some cloud cover in the afternoon and takes away the sunshine, we might fall just a bit short of 80. But if you're planning on going like fishing or playing golf, just remember to get to 80, we got to have wind. And if we have wind, that will affect both of those things that you do. If you're just gonna be outside having a good time, then don't worry about it. You're good to go. Jill, thank you, Jeff. You're very welcome anytime. Josh says, can't wait to start mowing the grass again. Hey, Josh, that's exactly what Jeff Desnoyers is doing when he gets out of work today, is mowing the front yard, because at this point, I have the highest grass in the entire neighborhood. And if I don't mow soon, I think the people are going to try to make me move out of the neighborhood. They're going to be like, Jeff, you got to go. It's about that time, right? Break out the lawnmower. Once you do it once, it's like shaving. You're going to do it the rest of your life, right? I know. I don't know much about shaving, obviously. All right. I got to get going. We've got TVL coming up for you at 11 o'clock. I'm also doing some weather hits during that. Peyton will be here. Show the latest. I think we're doing a segment on National Meteorological Day, which was yesterday. And I get to be the guest, which is cool. I even brought the nice shoes in. Let me show you this. This is crazy. So normally I wear sneakers because I'm a classy guy like that. But I actually brought the good shoes in for this. Like I feel pretty special today. So check that out. If you missed this on TVL, we're on at noon as well. Gina Benitez and myself will be here with more updates for you on the weather and also your news. Anything that broke this morning news-wise, we'll have that updated for you as well. And then we'll finish the day at 1 o'clock and we'll get out of here. Be good to go. Adam says, looks like we're going to have a busy storm season. Yeah, so far, Adam, we've had some stormy times for sure. It seems like every weekend, right? We got very lucky 2 weekends ago. We still had damage and some flooding. We didn't have the big tornado numbers that other states had. But it does seem like almost every weekend right now we're tracking some kind of thunderstorm activity. So, you know who said that was going to happen? Meteorologist Brad Travis. Yeah, he said that back like 2 weeks ago. We were at a radio programming, Joe's Valley. He's like, I think it's going to be a really active this year, severe season. Go figure. He's the GOAT for a reason. All right, Stan Barbie, have a great day. You all have a great day too. Check us out again to 11 o'clock TVL. Enjoy the sunshine when it comes out this afternoon and enjoy the really wonderful weather week we have in store for the Tennessee Valley.